Hey guys, welcome back to another trade review. So, I first want to say thank you all so much for the the views yesterday. It was insane. I woke up not expecting anything really, and I had the most amount of views I've ever had on a single video in my life. And we're already like 70 something videos in, so that was such a crazy thing to see. I got about 20 subscribers last night out of nowhere, and it's it's so insane to me how that happened. I woke up and I freaked out. I was like, "Holy shit!" I actually I actually got people watching my stuff last night. That was insane. So I really appreciate you all, tuning in and liking the video, or just watching it in general. I really do appreciate that. And commenting as well. It was really awesome to see that you all were leaving feedback in the comments, or just having a discussion there in general. I love to respond to comments. I don't have all the time to respond necessarily, but I try my best whenever I can. So I really appreciate the feedback, and just knowing that you all are at least watching my videos or tuning in to some part of it. It's really nice to see. So thank you so much for that. All right, and with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the trade review itself here. This time around, I want to do something different. I would like to go over things such as my best and worst trades of the year, rules and improvements that I have for myself, rules going forward or improvements that I could make. If I miss a couple, be sure to comment them below. Obviously, my total P&L for the year or just monthly, I can go ahead and do that as well. But most importantly, I feel, is the missed entry opportunities that I'm not taking, or I'm selling too quick on. I want to review those and see what's going on there. Like, why am I selling too quick? Why am I holding positions too long? Or just improvements in general on my trades during those missed opportunities. Another thing I would like to do is possibly make a trade review every week. The only reason I haven't done so yet is because some weeks, such as this past weekend or this past week, were pretty slow. There wasn't a whole lot of action going on. Market's been kind of slow, been pretty dead. But if that's something you all would like to see, be sure to comment it below, and I'll go ahead and try my best to get one of those out every single week. Otherwise, we'll just keep this on a month-to-month basis. I know it hasn't been that way because my schedule's been pretty whack. It's been off. But I can try my best to get those out on a month-to-month basis. So let me know what you all would think in the comments below. With that being said, we're going to be going over everything that happened after my last trade review. So whenever that was, it's basically everything in between to the end of the year. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the best and worst trades. Let's go ahead and show those right now. Breaking 950 most likely. So I'm in there. See if I can pop back above VWAP above 42. 60, 65, 7. I'm going to keep holding here for the next 1 minute high. I still think this has a potential. 60. $70, so we get the break of 10. So we did get the break of 10 there. I just oh my god. All right, so hopping into RNXT here. This had to have been one of my favorite trades. If I'm not mistaken, this was somewhere around the time which I first started adjusting or learning how to hold a position longer than I normally would. Usually, I'll hold a position for like 10 seconds, not even. I'll sell within a very short period of time. I would always look for a significant break right away. I wouldn't hold through pullbacks. I just sell for a loss immediately. And this is when I first started trying to adjust and letting the stock work a little bit, do what it had to do, and then still believe in my strategy for a potential rip higher, or hold a lot longer for bigger moves. And this is when I first started testing that out. Normally I would have sold already at around 950 for a small profit, 956 right there most likely, but this time around I was practicing holding, and I held because I believed in my strategy that it would break over 10. For some reason, I had this idea it was going to work above 10 and it could break higher in the next 1 minute candle. So I was really just hoping for a next 1 minute high break and hold through this sideways consolidation. but then we just see this random surge all the way through 10, market order through 10, and once I seen all those sellers stacked at 10, I decided to just sell my position and get rid of it. I don't know. This gave me so much confidence going forward because I knew with a move like this that there really is potential in holding my positions and understanding that I don't have to sell within 10, 15 cents or sell in small moves here. I can just keep holding for a bigger rip as long as everything's aligned properly. If the MACD's right, if my strategy's right, if my risk management's right, if I have a good position, this can really go in my favor if I just hold my position and not sell too quick. See, 1760. This one's so damn tricky. High here is 1793. Back to 1770 now. I'm going to buy this dip at 55. Going for the next 1 minute high to break. So looking for that 1 minute high of what? 1778 to break. There's 59. Get the push through 60 here. 70, 75. Selling there. So really nice trade. Didn't break 18. I sold at VWAP. Oh man, so it did pay off. Thank God. Thank God. That I waited and waited and waited for this one. Thank God. Sold at the top there. All right, so firstly on FHTX, I want to stress that this is such a bad example of how to trade because this was purely off emotion. As you can tell at the very end, I was so relieved that it actually worked out in my favor. I was really just betting on hope. I did have a strategy coming into this. I was actually looking for the 5 minute high to break. I wanted to get an early entry on it. I was also looking for the 10 minute. I know I keep stressing about the 1 minute, but I was actually checking the 5 minute as you saw there. And I was really just looking for the 5 minute high break over VWAP. I wanted it to break over VWAP and continue higher, but for some reason I decided to sell at VWAP, and it's a good thing I did because the trade ended up going south regardless. So I don't know. This was a huge emotional trade for me, and that's not one thing I want to display here for you all. I want to show you because I was so excited that it worked out in my favor, but it's such a bad example of a way to trade. You shouldn't be, I guess hope isn't a strategy, right? So just take my whole video here with a grain of salt. All the strategies are all the things I'm going to try and doing. It's just for personal improvement. So these are just my opinions, and I hope you all get to see exactly what goes through my mind in this process. But yeah, this trade, I had been watching it all day. I had been looking at this one, and I had seen some false breaks over here previously, but I don't know. It was a very stressful trade, and getting in there, it wasn't even a big move. I believe it was about 30 something cents, if I'm not mistaken, like 35 cents. And yeah, this move, I don't know. It worked out in my favor. I was so thankful that it did, and I really wanted to finish green that day. So if I put myself right on this position, I would have been so upset. But it was the last couple minutes of the day before I closed it up, and I decided to take one last trade. And thankfully, it worked out in my favor. Like I said, I was going off the 5 minute. The 1 minute MACD, I guess, was what really caught my attention. But overall, the 5 minute high or 10 minute high break was what I was going for. So another example of me trying to hold longer. This is later, like a month later, for my previous one. But thankfully, the trade worked out in my favor. And I, lived to trade another day. On the next 1 minute. So I'm gonna buy this dip here at 75, 76. Yikes. So selling right there, already done for the day. So not what I was expecting. Jesus, man. So really not the okay, honestly, CFVI wasn't the best move. I was watching it pre-market, and I had drawn my support lines around 1325, 1350. I knew was kind of a support line as well. It had just rejected that level at the open, and then it was bouncing all the way up to 14 here. So because of that bounce, I felt a little more confident buying a dip on this trade. I knew 14 was going to be a major resistance spot because it had rejected it about 4 or 5 times pre-market. But I figured, once the market opens, we should see enough momentum in the stock or enough volume to actually rip through 14, no problem. So I was gonna wait for the next 1 minute candle, but once I had seen this pullback here to 1370, I felt like getting a little more aggressive on it. Unfortunately, once I'd seen that it ripped through 1350 on going to the downside, I just sold right away because I didn't think it had the potential to pop anymore. Once it broke that support at 1350, I was like, it's kind of reversing on me. Like it's there's a shift in momentum here, so I decided to just sell for a loss, and I had to shut the day down. I think right there with a $133 loss. So unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I'm buying 500 shares here at 32. I was looking for a better entry, and I saw that quick drop to 32. I think I just made a mistake here potentially. So we'll see. 32.22 is my stop. Breakthrough VWAP is definitely my stop. So sell in there and try and get out here. I'm not getting filled, so great. Now I'm having a hard time getting filled here. This just sucks. Okay, so after this one, I'm for sure done. Still trying to sell, not getting filled. Finally stopped out. So I wasn't even trying to stop out that low, but I'm done today. That's just stupid. It's honestly pretty unfortunate on this trade because the daily was my overall target. That's what I really wanted to go for. The 1 minute looked like it had a bull flag pattern, and the 5 minute looked pretty strong in my opinion. The MACD was also crossing or curling there on the MACD. So everything looked good. It was above VWAP. It was holding these levels, and it seemed pretty strong to me. So I decided this is almost a perfect setup and took my entry. Unfortunately, though, there was it's kind of a complicated thing here. I didn't realize it in the middle of my trade. It's pretty thickly traded, I would say, but whenever I press my hotkeys, I have it routed to NSDQ. So since I had it routed to NSDQ, it wasn't, well, in the yellow portion, I guess I would say. It was actually outside of the yellow portion from what you all see on the level 2. So that's why whenever I open an order or try to stop out, it always puts it in the green, which is like a cent higher. I do have several hotkeys to bail out. And this one was actually, I think, I don't know how many cents off. I don't remember how many cents off, but I do have a bailout key, for trades like this. I think it's under 5 cents. But I don't know. For some reason on this one, it was just putting it above the ask, like 1 cent above, and it wasn't, putting on the bid how it should. So for whatever reason, I wasn't getting filled, and I couldn't stop out fast enough. Although there was so much volume in this one, or so it was so thickly traded, I just couldn't get stopped out of my position. So I had to sell at the very bottom. What I was looking for was once it broke VWAP or once it hit VWAP, I was just going to stop out at 27 for a small loss. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. I ended up having to take an even bigger loss. And like I had mentioned in the video, that was it for me that day because I was getting extremely frustrated and I knew I would just, try to revenge trade after that. So unfortunately, I finished down on that day. It was a pretty sloppy trade, if I'm being honest. It looked good, in my opinion. It looked really strong. It looked like it had the potential, but unfortunately, it just didn't work out that way. So I just bought that dip there at VWAP at 54. Gonna try and ride this back up. See if we can get a 2 candle pullback here. I'm going for the anticipation of another 5 minute high break. The next 5 minute high is gonna open. The next 5 minute candle is going to open here. 5 minute high is 73, so I'd be going for that break of 73 on the next 1 minute, I guess. So the 62, just going to wait this one out a little bit. 10 minute should open another 5 minutes, but overall I'm going to go for that 5 minute high. Only thing is that I don't trust the 10 minute candle at all, so this has to be a significant 5 minute high break. So we got a couple more seconds here. See if you get that break all the way to 70. Having a little struggle there at 60. It's okay. Got a big bid at 55. Gonna wait this one out a little bit. Jesus, look at that. Some massive drop. Not selling yet. Gonna wait for a pop. It's not popping up here. Try and sell in the 30s if it does. So I'm just gonna get rid of it. So unexpected drop there. That was kind of nasty. I guess the 10-minute MACD gave it away there. 10-minute MACD just randomly flushed on me. So what was a $20 winner turns into a $100 loser there, which really sucks. All right, so this had to have been probably the worst trade in the year, if I'm being real. This was such a rug pull of a move. It sucked. I was so pissed already because I think I was on a losing streak at this point. But coming into this trade, I was so focused on the 5 and 1 minute, I think, because the 10-minute MACD is clearly going to cross here, which, I mean, although it's green right now, that just shows it has potential for a false break. And I don't know, knowing how it held the first 2 candles, I guess, it ripped through VWAP, and now it's holding above its $0.50. And the $0.50 is right there at VWAP as well, so that's like double support. It gave me a lot of confidence moving into this one. Unfortunately, though, obviously it went the other direction. I should have known better looking at the 10-minute MACD. I decided to buy that dip right there. I thought it was a good 2-candle pullback, and I could see the next 1-minute candle, rip to the highs. That was the idea I had, and it was going well. It was doing okay, but it couldn't break over 760, and that's where I should have just sold. But again, I was learning to hold a lot longer, and I felt like maybe I can give this one a little more room. It'll pull back, maybe touch VWAP a second time, and then just start ripping to the highs after 770, somewhere around there. Unfortunately, obviously, the one big market order came in, just tanked the stock. And I was basically done. I was so pissed at that point. I was like, nah. After that, I'm gone. So I think I shut it down. I don't remember. But this had to, for sure, have been the worst trade in the year for me. I don't think that this one was actually my biggest loss of the year. For sure, in one trade, I think my biggest loss was about 41 cents or something from our last trade review. But this one was about a 29-cent loss, I believe. And I don't know. I call this one my worst trade just because it was such a huge flush on me. I did not expect such a big drop at one point. And I thought maybe with a big drop like that, I could buy the dip again and average down or wait for the pop, right? Wait for a pop to come. But obviously it didn't. So I had to take an even bigger loss. I don't know. Although I lost, it still doesn't compare to how I feel when I miss a big opportunity. When I miss such an awesome move and I start getting that FOMO building up, that really pisses me off. And I could take a loss, it's whatever. At least I tried. But when I didn't even take the entry, or I didn't even try to make a move and it goes without me, that's even more frustrating for me, I'd say, overall. So let's go ahead and dive into some of those trades. So big spreads on this one. So could have bought that dip there at 2160, but had a big spreads there for a second. But that's a nice break all the way to 24 now. 24.20. So definitely has potential to break 25.50. Could have bought the dip a long time ago, and I would be up a tremendous amount. But one, completely out of my price range. Two, if it flushed on me, I was done for the day, done for the week, basically. All right, so LGVN Probably the biggest missed opportunity this year. It was a $2.40 move in one candle. So on this drop here, I could have bought at 21.50, 21.70, one of those areas for the rip. And subconsciously, I was telling myself like, hey, buy that dip. This is a great opportunity. You could definitely go for the daily high to break. I had no other strategy besides the MACDs on both the 5 and 10 minute curling here, and that was the only thing that I had going for me really. Other than that, I wasn't paying too much attention to it just because it was out of my price range. It was breaking my rules, and because of my rules, I was talking myself out of the trade. I think it's overall a good decision. I didn't take it just because it's self-discipline. I have to learn, to trade within my rules here. But this was such a huge missed opportunity because not only did it continue all the way to 30 something dollars, I believe, that could have been a huge trade, and just I could have just bought the bottom, sold the top, and that would have been it. It ripped to 25 or 24, no problem. So I don't know. I had seen it fill the gap or almost fill the gap from the halt level to the resumption level, and that's where I knew subconsciously like, hey, this is probably the place to buy. But at the end of the day, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I have next time, I guess. Huge opportunity here. Really nice clean rip through 13. Anyway. So yeah, like on this one, I can't use my margin. Look at that huge move. 60 all the way to 35, 50 now. Oh man, miss an entire climb there. Wow, if this goes into a halt, that's going to be insane. Jesus, I missed this entire move right there. I didn't expect it. I wanted this 1 minute candle to pull back, but I didn't expect it to rip. I wanted it to pull back, and the next 1 minute candle we see break through. So to some of you who watch or tune in, it's no surprise that I miss this move because it's quite often that I miss these moves just because I'm talking too much. So I'm analyzing my previous trades that I took, and I guess I was kind of hyped because all these trades that I took during this day were pretty good. I made quick scalps. Everything was solid. I wasn't slipping up really anywhere. And I was just reviewing them, talking, and then I missed this entire move because I wasn't paying attention. Unfortunately, this was a whole $1.30 position that I missed out on. So that could have, made a good day great, but unfortunately, I didn't take that. I don't know. This is probably one of the best days that I had this year, if I'm being honest, and this will come up later in the video. But it's just a really big opportunity that I missed out on. The 5 minute was perfect. 10 minute was also perfect. It just recovered from a VWAP bounce. And like I said in the video, I was hoping for a 1 minute pullback and then catch the next 1 minute to rip through, potentially break through 1350 or even 14. So there's not much I can say on it. I wasn't too upset that day just because I had a good day overall, so it's whatever. This one's just so choppy, it's making me nervous. I want to get in here for the break of the 73 high on the 10 minute, but like I said, it's so choppy, it's making me nervous. It has these big pops and then drops all the way back down to its initial position. This is probably the break here. 70. There it is, yep. So I'm already feeling FOMO on this one. I missed two major moves here. Missed two huge moves, and I'm already feeling it. So that was my initial strategy, was to get in for the break of the 10-minute high, and now it's getting halted. I didn't take my entry here like I should have. Twice. So I missed this entry and I missed this entry as well. Two obvious entries. Again, this one I was waiting for a little more of a pullback, so that was on me. This one is just so choppy in this range. I wasn't sure. It opened mid candle similar to this one over here, and I wasn't sure what it wanted to do. Should have taken my entry, but I was afraid that it would flop back to VWAP because of how choppy it's been trading. What a missed opportunity this was on BFRI for sure. In total, I estimated it was about $1.09 that I missed out on. Not the biggest missed opportunity, but still a pretty massive move here. it was a tricky one to trade, if I'm being honest. It was very difficult to work with because as I mentioned in the video, it'd make these big moves and then flush back down on the next candle. So knowing that that's the price action I was working with, I didn't feel comfortable taking another trade on it, especially because this last trade I just took, the candle prior, I sold a little too early on and I was already getting frustrated. I was also thinking like I missed two other big moves today. Like these are some big moves. And I was talking myself out of this trade because I wanted to buy that 1 minute open there at 1050. I was really considering it, and I had my finger on the buy button. I remember this exact moment, and I talked myself out of it just because I was so nervous of the price action we had seen earlier, of it just flushing through the VWAP on me, and I'm losing a lot of money. So I didn't buy it. I'd seen it hit 1070 and then come back down to 1060, and for that split second, I had felt a little bit of relief, like, oh, I was right. I was right that it was gonna flop. But at the same time, I was telling myself, nah, it kind of just hit that level, double topped, but it can keep breaking higher. You should buy the dip at 1060. And I was kind of telling myself, and then, but then next thing you know, it just rips through 1070, 11, all the way to 1160. And I don't chase the stock. I'm like, well, it's going without me. Oh well. And it was so upsetting to know that I missed 3 opportunities back to back to back after just talking about missing 2 other ones. Like, oh, it's so annoying. I don't know. It's whatever. Let's go to the next one. Selling there at 27. So, well, should have held my position a little longer. So now we're back to green. I should have actually held my position. I didn't realize the 5 minute was right here. Jesus. Oh my god, I regret selling that so much now. Ah, man. That's so annoying. That's so annoying that I sold that, man. Jesus. I was waiting for that this whole time. I was kind of expecting it on this candle, and then I didn't even look at the 5 or 10 minute. That's completely my fault, man. Alright, so this had to have been one of the worst, if not the worst, trading day of the year, if I'm being honest. I think this actually might come out at the end of the video as well. It was trash, if I'm being honest. I started the day off with a loss already. I get this incredible position, and I sold on the next 1 minute candle, or I guess 2 minutes later, right? I sold on that candle. To my surprise, it ripped all the way to 770. I did not expect that. It was about a 70-cent move that I missed out on. So, oh man, I was so frustrated. I was so stressed this day because it was the 31st, which meant that the next day, the next month, I would get charged $125 as a monthly fee for my broker. So I felt a lot of pressure to make that money and at least start off around the same equity, come the next trading day, which was on the 3rd. Well, unfortunately, not only did I miss this opportunity and, was I wrong on several points. For example, in the beginning of the day, I said NTRB is not going to hit its 200. That thing hit its 200 and some. I think it finished around $12, $13. So I was wrong there. And then to add salt to my wounds here, I finished red on the day. So I was red, green, and then back to red, and took a fat monthly commission on top of that. So really bad day. That probably one of the worst days, as I mentioned. But that missed opportunity that I had there, I did not expect it to make that move, if I'm being honest. The 5 minute MACD wasn't there. I thought it was gonna cross, and then I don't know. I didn't think it had that much potential. It was kind of dead that day. And TRB was the only one that was moving. It looked pretty extended off of VWAP, and I just decided to sell. I just didn't. I thought the 1 minute was gonna pull back. I'll get on another pullback opportunity and catch the high again. But that thing took off without me, and that was it. Buy in here for the break at 13. Trying to sell at 27, 35. Selling there at 23. Not filled. There, just got filled. So, wish I would have held a little longer. Potentially over back to 13. I'm going to buy in here. 1265 for the break into 13. I'm selling there at 78. It wasn't wanting to move. So sold at 78. It wasn't moving quick enough. It didn't break through that level how I wanted it to. So it broke the 1 minute high, but it just didn't break that level how I was expecting. ISIG, now it's curling on the 1 minute. I like that. I'm gonna buy in here for the break of 13. See if we get that break. 13, trying to sell at 13. See if we get another test of 13. Another pop back up to 90. Still in. I don't know where I'm in at actually, if I'm being honest. 75. See if we get another rip through 13. There's 90. I'm gonna sell at 90. It's not wanting to move there. So next 5 minute opens in 2 minutes, but this 1 minute is still looking really solid for another push through 13. So let's see if we get it on this one. There's 1309, 1313, sold right there. All out of my position. Super quick trade right there. 94 to 1306. I don't like the way that this one's popping and rejecting, so that's why it was such a quick trade. Just, you know, pop, drop, pop, drop, pop, drop. That's all this one's doing. All right, now we're on the best trading day of the year part of the video. And this, like I said earlier, this has to be the best trading day of the year because it was just quick scalps back to back to back to back. Just nonstop wins. It was, I don't know, I felt super zoned in here. I felt like everything was going perfect. My exits were pretty sloppy, if I'm being real. They were, for the most part, very sloppy, but I didn't have a losing trade this day, and although I missed that huge opportunity as we reviewed earlier, I was more than happy with the results that I had that day. Everything seemed perfect. You know, if I'm kind of wonder what it would have been like if I didn't keep talking and I actually paid attention and took those trades. As you can see here, the stock's going to drop to VWAP and then it recovers, and then that's when you see that huge rip. This is what I was expecting. I wanted it to do that. I wanted it to pull back on the 1 minute, sideways consolidate, and then the next 1 minute take off. And that was kind of the idea. That's why I wasn't paying attention to it here. But then it starts breaking higher. It starts breaking 13, and then just keeps ripping from there. So I wonder how things would have panned out if I actually took this trade within a small pullback before we see that massive rip. That would have been a huge way to end the day for sure. But I don't know. For the most part, I'm really happy with these trades that were executed. Everything seems solid. You know, quick scalps, back to back, same strategy. Break at the last 1 minute high. Just keep scalping for a couple cents at a time, and then just sell my position. Yes, I was racking up the fees. Like I have $42 in trading fees there, but for the most part, it worked out as I wanted it to. So I'll wait it out a little bit. I'm gonna buy in here 500 at 38. So I've probably gotten a little early if I'm being honest, but we're still gonna wait. And are we gonna get in on a nasty flush here? All the way back to 32, 37. Now it's kind of choppy here. Still got 30 seconds on it. Looking at the MACD, everything's looking okay. Support at 31, it's breaking that level. Let's sell here. Can't sell at 31, so we're gonna wait it out a little bit more. Another big seller, trying to get rid of it here. For some reason, it's not letting me stop out here. It's just kind of frustrating. I'm still gonna hold it, I guess. We'll wait on it. Now I'm gonna try and stop out here at 29. See if I get my whole position filled. So it just got stopped out there. I'm gonna buy here at 37. And I'm gonna look for the break over 50 on this next 1 minute candle. We're gonna see if we can get that break. It's finishing pretty low here, which I don't like to see. If it breaks this 1 minute low, I'm gonna stop out once more. So it broke the low. Let's see if it can bounce up above, or it's gonna keep flushing. I'm gonna sell here, stop out for a loss. If I can get filled. Not getting filled, so I have to move my position here. See if I can get filled here at 30. So it just got filled there for another 10-cent loss. I've halt level moved up. I'm gonna buy that dip. Heavy in the red now. selling there. I'm gonna stop out there. So I was in at 68 and I had to stop out on that pop back up. So again, nasty flush. Now I'm completely done for the day. 150. I mean, that's my stop loss. So because this does not look bad for another 5-minute move here. So I'm gonna get in here at 50. 500 shares at 1150. We're gonna go for the next 1-minute candle to break that high. I'm gonna go for the 5-minute high overall. So it's 1150. Let's see if we get the break of this last 1-minute candle. 44, 40. Flush through VWAP. I'm selling. 37 sold. So 224. That's what I get. You see, guys. All right, jumping into the worst trading day of, I guess not the year, but since that period of our last trade review. What a flop this was, that's for sure. 2 days prior, I had just broken over 2,400 and things were looking solid. I wanted to break 2,500 and then hit 3,000. That was my overall target. You know, the day after I lost, I don't know how much, like 100 something, I believe, and that put my account below 2,300, just shy. So as you can see here, about $7 shy of 2,300. So I was thinking, you know, I can make that back. It's no problem. Finish the month like that. It's, you know, the 30th of November. We're about to wrap it up, and this will be, you know, a way to finish the month. But also, I had a $125 commission about to slap me in the face come the next day. So I couldn't let that happen. I wanted to get that back as soon as possible and stay within that 2,300 range. I was really trying to get this account above 2,300 by today or 2,400 to at least, you know, maintain that balance come the next trading day. Well, unfortunately, I went a little too aggressive on this day. You know, things were going really in the wrong direction for me this entire time. I felt I could let these things run a little more. You know, I took a position. I was like, oh, this isn't so bad, and maybe I'll let it drag on a little more before I sell it. And I did that one too many times, I'd say, because Jesus, I'm having a hard time getting filled in this stock. I should have just called it right here, and that should have been it. Take a $100 loss. It's already basically the monthly commission. I might as well wrap it up. But for some reason, I decided to take a move on PPSI as well. So PPSI was an immediate loser come this next 1-minute candle. It's just I get clowned on right here. Luckily, it pops up, thankfully, and I'm able to sell within that pop, so I didn't have to take such a massive loss. Unfortunately, though, if you back up in the video, back to the RELI or Rally trade that we were analyzing not too long ago, if you back up in the video, you'll see that PPSI makes almost the exact same move that Rally makes. In the 1-minute pattern at least. So, you know, PPSI decided to take an entry here for the next 1-minute candle to open and break the high. Also the 5-minute. But what ends up happening is it just sideways consolidates and then drops. Now, I got lucky on PPSI that it didn't just flush on me like Rally. It wasn't a rug pull move. It did consolidate before actually breaking lower towards the last couple seconds of this 1-minute candle. But it was a similar setup to RELI. I believe this was prior to the RELI rug pull, though. So, I don't know. I stopped out here. I met my max stop loss already, so I shouldn't have even taken this last trade. But that was a clear example of revenge trading. In the video, I believe I say FOMO, or I even say the wrong word like flush. I'm using the wrong terminology and vocabulary. So please excuse that. These are not flushes. These are I just overuse that word because that's how it feels at the time. Like, oh my God, it's a flush. It's like 5 cents of a drop out here. So excuse that. But at the same time, it was not necessarily a FOMO trade. It was a revenge trade. That's a clear example of that. I know someone asked me prior if I, feel any FOMO or if I revenge trade often or what. And this is a clear example of it happening in action. So, I took a bigger share size than I normally would because I wanted to make all that back as soon as I could. I wanted to sell 15 cents, 10 cents, and then make a lot of it back in one go. So I took a larger size than I should have. And I convinced myself to take another trade after I just told myself, nah, I'm done for the day. Like I shouldn't be trading anymore. But it looked too good of an opportunity to pass. And, That one really kicked my ass because, oh man, not only did I get the $125 commission at the end of the month, but I also took a fat $220 loss. And instead of, just taking the $100 loss and keeping my account above $2,000, I ended up finishing below $2,000 come the next day. So, worst trading day of the year. I actually thought it was the other trade that I was talking about earlier in the video, but obviously this has to be it. Okay, so now to break down our total P&L in the account. Whew, it's going to be a little rough here if I'm being real. So, okay, since our last trade review, we had a total loss of $1,112.93. However, in that same range, we gained $615.86. If you add the two together, it came out to a total loss of $497.07. So $497, basically $500 is what I lost since our last trade review. However, if you include commissions like monthly fees and all that, or just ECIN fees, SEC fees, that should come out to a total of $747.07 of a loss. So basically $750 was down the bucket in this, I guess, these past 2 months since our last trade review. So almost, close to $1,000, 3/4 of $1,000 here is what I've lost in these past 2 months. Pretty rough, if I'm being honest. Now, total P&L for the year since we started the account to the end of the year, the 31st, I believe. If not, I might have included, this week of January, this 1 week of January in there. It came out to a total loss of $993.04 as of today. So we went from $2,755 all the way down to whatever we are now. I think it's $1,400, something below $1,500, I'm sure. So a total loss of $993.04. It's not looking so hot. Actually, if I'm being totally honest, I'm pretty impressed. I'm actually pretty impressed. Not only did I come up to 2,400 2 different times, I believe. The account, it fell apart since the start. It went from 2,700 all the way to 2,000, broke below 2,000, hit 1,800, climbed up to 2,400, just shy of 2,500, then broke back below to 1,800, came back above again to 2,400, and now I'm really in the red these past 2 months, and I'm back to 1,400, the lowest that my account's ever been, unfortunately. So now we got to devise a strategy or some sort of rules in place to, avoid taking bigger losses to just blow up the entire account. Normally, I would have already blown this account up within the first 2 months, most likely. However, through my years of experience now, I've learned to at least manage my risk a little better. Obviously, it's not the best because I'm still down 1,000. There's many people that are up right now, but I'm still glad and impressed by myself that I haven't lost the account. So if there's any improvements or something that I missed that you all feel that I need to review, then please comment below and I'll go ahead and go over those as soon as possible. However, this is what I was able to come up with. Since the market's been very slow, it's been super trash these past couple weeks, I'd say, or even month. Nothing seems to be holding its level, and the volume, in my opinion, is pretty low on most of these stocks that we're trading. I decided to go ahead and review some comments, and one of the things that someone recommended was that I trade on longer time frames. So, for example, the 5 or 10 minute, focus primarily on those compared to the 1 minute. So that's something I'm going to start implementing, is primarily focusing on the 5 minute and seeing how I can use the 1 minute to my advantage and take a better position. However, my overall target should be the 5 minute, which should also increase my, holding position. So I'm going to have to wait a full 5 minutes to really see a position play out, which would be cool. So we'll go ahead and test that out, and that's going to be something I'm going to implement in my new trading style. Another thing that they recommended was that I trade anything above the VWAP, not below. So if something starts coming down below VWAP, obviously I'm not going to be trading that. So we'll go ahead and, if there's stocks below VWAP, I'm just going to scratch those off my watch list until they can show the strength to recover and trade above it. Another rule that I had was if I don't have any trades by 9:45, I'm just gonna wrap it up, because if I just keep waiting around for another stock to pop up or whatever, that's just more time for me to start getting emotional on my trades here. Like, I'm waiting all day, waiting. I feel the more I wait, the more I want to trade, just because I've been waiting all day for something to happen. And when an opportunity kind of presents itself, I might be blinded by an opportunity when really it could be a false break. So that's another rule I'm going to have. If nothing seems to be going on by 9:45, I'm just going to wrap it up. The max loss I'm going to be taking from now on is $100. So we're going to be trading. Here's another rule. We're going to be trading with a quantity of 300 shares, like max. Until we hit above 2 grand, or until we hit above 2,500, we can step it up to 400, maybe 500 shares. But as of right now, my max share size is going to remain 300 for the time being, with a max loss of $100. I'm going to give myself a little flexibility here. If I come in the $90 range, I'm done. If I go above 100, I kind of just want $110 like max on to be my main stop loss, or my main loss for the day. But if I come, like, let's just say I take a loss of $95, well, then I'm done. I'm not going to even bother taking another trade to get myself back into the green here. So if I'm in that small range of 90 to 110, I'm done. Another thing, 3 losses. This is similar to Ross Cameron. He has this idea that if he has 3 back-to-back losers, losing trades, then he's just done. Well, for me, it's going to be basically the exact same thing. If I have 3 losers back-to-back, or if I just have 3 losers in general for the day, I'm wrapping it up. Like, that should be it for me. If I'm not finding success in the day, there's no sense in me, revenge trading or continuing to trade past my rules here. So one change I am making, though, is I'm adding a risky trade per week. So, for example, this would be a halt, or a stock that comes out of a halt. It's a risky trade for me, because it's not really set up properly, and I'd rather wait for a pullback or whatever. But if I see an opportunity, similar to one of the missed opportunities in the video, if I see something like that and I have that urge to buy it, I'm going to go ahead and take that trade. But I'm only allowed 1 per week. And that's usually, I think I'm only going to do it if I'm on a cushion for the week, at least. If I'm up on the week. If I'm down on the week, I don't think I'm going to allow that risky trade. But if there's no trades, or if I'm up on the week, I'm going to allow that 1 risky trade per week. But, let's just say the next day it happens again, I'm not going to take that trade. One of the last rules I have that I also changed was my price range. Normally I trade somewhere between, really, I would say $6 to $13, $14, somewhere in that range, maybe $18. I'll trade in that small range, but I'm upping it this time. I'm increasing the range from $4 to $30. So if there's a stock that's $22, whatever, and I see it's making a big move, if I see a pattern, or if I feel like there's an opportunity to trade that stock, I'm going to go ahead and take that opportunity, regardless of the share price. So that's another rule I have. Just because I noticed a lot of the stocks that are getting halted, or that I do see good opportunities on, I hesitate too much because, 1, of the spread, but 2, it's just out of my price range, and I second guess myself because it's breaking my rules. So I want to expand that. But usually if I'm trading up in the 20s somewhere, that's going to be classified as a risky trade for the week, just because the spreads do tend to be a lot higher. Now, the last change I'm making, or the last rule that's taking place, is to only take trades on stocks that have a volume of more than 1 million. So if I see a stock that has 500,000 shares being traded, or anything less, 40,000, I'm not going to trade it. It has to have over 1 million shares of volume being traded, not just in pre-market or anything, but throughout the day it has to have at least 1 million. That's already a current rule that's set, but I just want to readdress that. This is all I could come up with in this time of trading. I don't really have any strategy in place as of right now. I couldn't figure out what exactly is working in this short period of time here, because the market's always adjusting. There's always new stocks popping up, every day. So I can't really come up with a specific strategy at the moment as to what's working. But believe me, that's currently being reviewed, and I'm going to try and come up with something soon. But right now, the most important thing for me is risk management. My account's at 1,400, and I don't want to see this thing go below 1,000. So I have to be real careful and take A-quality setups, really good trades, and be very mindful of what's going on in the market. So another thing I was considering was taking a day of the week to just look at the market, just watch the market for 30 minutes, see what the price action's looking like, and then come the next day, take some trades and more or less understand what everything's doing. So if that's an option, let me know if y'all think that's a good idea in the comments below. But otherwise, I'm going to continue trading the same way just because, like I said, every day is different. There could be something popping on Monday, but nothing Tuesday. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Down $1,000 on the year. Not the best year, but I hope you all find some use to these videos. When I first started trading, there was nothing like this that I could find where someone showed their entire trades taking place, similar to Ross Cameron, who I was learning from at the time. I couldn't find anything like that, anything useful at least, and I just felt, this is something that I kind of want to do. I started recording my trades, and I didn't post them. I just had them there, and I just decided, I'm going to start posting it for people to see. Maybe it'll come of some use. They can at least learn the platform or understand what's going on. Just look at it, see what it's like to be just an average day trader. I'm, no pro by any means, but, I still hope that, through my progress here, through my videos, that somebody finds some use to it. Maybe they can review my trades, look at what mistakes I'm making and improve on it, and, do a lot better of a job than I'm currently doing. But I hope that one day I can actually start succeeding in these trades and finding some consistency and having a higher success rate. I believe right now I'm definitely not like 50 or 101. I'm probably like less than that, right? So I don't know. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow for some more trades. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Please give it a like and subscribe. It's the first time I'm saying this. And like I said, if you have any suggestions or improvements I can make, be sure to comment them below. I'd love to hear that from you guys. Anyways, see you tomorrow.